Hello, viewers, and welcome back to Let's Do Video. I'm here with my good friend James Salter from AVer, and we're here to talk about houses of worship. The reason I wanted to talk about this, we've had AVer, James, and other friends from AVer on many times to talk about cameras and products, but I like talking about the use cases. I love the technology, I love the cameras, but what I want to talk about what the customers are doing with the cameras. And house of worship is a big vertical market for our industry. So James, could you tell us a little bit about what your customers in the house of worship vertical are doing with AVer?
Yeah, thanks, David. Love to do that. And again, thanks for having me on the program again. Yeah, I think the most common or popular way houses of worship customers are using AVer cameras is our Pro AV grade cameras. So those are the ones that have sort of a little bit bigger zoom, a few more options for inputs and outputs, designed for larger size rooms. So those would be the TR lineup or the AI auto tracking or like the other PDZ brands. And so yeah, we have a number of customers in that industry. A lot, and it's kind of an interesting industry. So it's a kind of a wide range of, just like you'd expect with even like the corporate space with small, medium business up to corporate. There's obviously different levels of staff, and there's different facilities. Same thing with house of worship. Majority of houses of worship are actually smaller churches, facilities like that, and they may have volunteer staff. So there's not always a full-time AV group. So making it simple and easy, and I mean like as far as just using the cameras and installing them and getting them to work with their existing equipment, that's really important. So getting them up to speed really quickly with our cameras is important. So some of the main use cases I see are they love the AI auto tracking cameras. So they can use the PDZs too. And some still love the old school. I have a bunch of different PDZs. I want multiple angles. They'll use a multi-camera controller, and they just want a couple different views. And that's perfect for that kind of scenario. Others are like, I just want to set it and forget it. So I use the AI auto tracking camera because I may not have the staff that can just sit back, and I can rely on them every single weekend to kind of go through and control the camera. So the AI auto tracking is a huge use case for us. You don't have to have any specific dedicated camera operator to follow the pastor or presenters around on stage. So they can set it up and then just kind of let it go, and it'll follow the speaker at the front for as long as you wanted to. So the AI auto tracking part is a huge component of what houses of worship seem to like. But again, if they want to do something with PDZ cameras, we have a number of those as well. We have 12 times zoom all the way up to 30 times zoom in our cameras. And the other thing we see is some of the larger facilities, they have conference rooms just like any other business. So they'll also want to tap into AVer video conferencing cameras. Those are the very simple plug and play with USB. And they can do video conferencing calls in their rooms with those cameras too. But the Pro AV grades are typically for the the live productions where they want to stream, or they just want to remote viewers, or they want to have that bigger live production experience for people in the facility at that time. So a lot of them will have big monitors, will have nice sound systems. And of course, they want to have great video cameras to go along with that. So you can pair up, an auto tracking camera with a non-auto tracking camera, have something panned on, part of the audience, or you can have something panned on wide on the whole stage, and you can have another camera following the presenter around. Those are very common that we see in our customers and house of worship.
In modern houses of worship, it's an experience, and AV is a big part of the experience. It used to be a lot of the experience happened in our heads, but now a lot of it is happening in our ears and our eyes. We're seeing it and hearing it. And you made a point that I think is really important, that it has, for house of worship, it particularly has to be easy. Another big vertical market we talk about is education. On a college, they have an IT staff. They have a couple of nerds like me walking around that are paid to learn how to use the cameras and love to do it. Oh, show me, sign me up for the new training course. I want to be an expert in this. In house of worship, it is volunteers, and worse than that, it's like a rotating set of volunteers. It's not like, oh, okay, Dave's our guy, he's our volunteer, he'll learn this stuff. It's Dave and Susan and Becky and Mary, and every third Sunday Dave gets it. I'm not going to be an expert. It's going to be a volunteer who's doing it sometimes and doesn't have the time to learn it. It has to be, if not set it and forget it, it has to be super. super easy. So I'm glad that's what you kind of started the conversation with.
Yeah, and absolutely, you touched on it. I think for those smaller facilities where, it can house less than 100 people, a lot of those are, made up of volunteers. Actually, we have a great customer on our website you can take a look at, and Concord Baptist Church, and he is a volunteer that works there and does, but he's an AV person there. But we have also, larger size facilities, and they do have dedicated, AV directors, IT directors that work with the live production crew, and they have some staff that's a mixture of full-time people and volunteers. But yeah, I think the same denominator applies. It has to be simple, has to work and integrate, and we offer different kinds of options. So I talked about the AI auto tracking. If you use any of the bigger name brand name microphone systems like Shure, Sennheiser, Nareva, Yamaha, Clear One, Audio Technica, you happen to use any of those, and you can use our cameras with our software PDZ Link. You could actually have voice tracking. So instead of that being motion detection, where it's looking at the speaker and moving with them based on their movement, it'll actually follow the person around based on their speaking. And so we see a lot of those in higher education and in corporate space, and it's getting into houses of worship now too. So all kind of like really great options for them. Again, has to be super simple, whether it's that, very experienced AV group all the way down to that volunteer group where it's maybe somebody with some experience in AV, but definitely want to make their lives easier so they can have a nice live and in-person experience, as well as the streamed experience, if that's what they're also doing with the video too.
And one final thought, I think it's important. You're talking about the auto framing and the advanced features of these cameras. We really need them in houses of worship in particular, because some of these buildings are old and designed to be beautiful. This design is meant for acoustics. You could tell. I bet if I'm speaking at the podium, I could whisper, you'll hear me in every seat. This is a more modern design, like our colleges. They're designed for acoustics. We have some churches that are hundreds of years old. They were designed to look beautiful. There's weird angles. You're behind a pillar. You can't see. We have to be creative with the cameras, and the cameras have to be able to have some really advanced features to be able to capture everything while keeping it simple. So while this is an obvious great use case for your cameras, I would think as from someone in your position, these are tricky customers. You really have to be on the top of your game to make it work in these environments.
Yeah, absolutely, David. Yeah, and the fact is, when you see the picture behind us there with the camera mounted, our cameras come in different colors. You can get a black one, you can get a white one, depending on what you want for your environment, and you can mount them on the ceiling, on the walls. I've seen them as simple as, hey, I just got an AV table at the back, and they're kind of sitting on the AV table. They can be put on different little extenders, basically a tripod. I've seen all different kinds of setups in houses of worship. We actually just did an event in Charlotte this spring, and with CFX Essentials, and we actually outfitted the church where they actually held the event with our AVer AI auto tracking cameras. And they just kind of they had a group that never worked with AVer before, and they had to set up our cameras and get them ready for recording the sessions. And again, the auto tracking was great because it could follow the speakers around, and didn't have any issues. We didn't get any calls, any issues, and everything worked out well. So I think having something that's super simple, again, that works with common AV systems is super important, and that's what AVer provides to those houses of worship. So yeah, they had some of those on tripods, they had some of them on desks, and because it was obviously a temporary event, it all works out really well.
And the end result, you want it to look like the services you see on TV, when the cameras are following around the speaker and you're switching to the right camera at the right time, but you don't want to hire a Hollywood producer to come and do it for you. So I think that's what all that automation basically achieves. It gives you that produced look, that professional look, without the cost.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I should also mention too is I've had another house of worship customer say, "Hey, we really like the AverCare warranty you provide. It's a great warranty package." Yeah, the real nice thing about it is in that first year of the warranty, there's a 24-hour advanced replacement. So if for any reason there's a problem, we'll swap that thing out once we hear about it within 24 hours. And so you can keep up and running. Because I know there's only so many days in the week where you might need to use this, especially for houses of worship. You want to make sure you don't miss out. So
Yeah.
that protection with that warranty is also peace of mind to a lot of those customers.
Well, it's easy for you guys to give out warranties. Your cameras don't break.
You know what? You're right. They don't. But you know what? Nothing's perfect. So
Peace,
you always
peace,
want to
no,
have
but the peace of
protection for the
mind is
customer.
good. That's true. Nothing's 100%. So if you do get that one out of a whatever that has a problem, you do want that warranty. But and peace of mind. But it's also good to have faith. I have faith in the cameras.
Yeah.
It's good to have faith,
Absolutely.
but it's also good to have a warranty.
Exactly. Yeah, that's your insurance plan.
So anything else our viewers need to know about AVer and houses of worship?
Yeah, absolutely. Just you have the website behind us. Visit us at averusa.com. You can find out different solutions for whether you want like the bigger cameras that can kind of take on the live streaming and the video capture for the main part of your facility, or if you're looking for again those video conferencing cameras for some of those smaller conference rooms you have. We have different solutions there on both our Pro AV and our video conferencing lineup. So yeah, visit averusa.com.
I'll put the links below in the description. All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for being here, James. Appreciate this. This was cool.
Yeah, thanks, David. Appreciate the time again. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching, everyone.